So I'm a little behind in posting videos. So what I want to do here is just kind of give an overview of some of the upcoming things that I'm going to be showing in videos as a sort of a stopgap here until I can get back into the swing of things. So I've got a bunch of different projects I'm working on, and in no particular order, I've made major progress on the 1968 Topps Game card set that I'm trying to get in PSA 8 or better. This is the top card in the set. It's card number 2 in the set, but it's really the number 1 card, Mickey Mantle. And in fact, this is the first Mickey Mantle card I've ever had. And so I'll be doing a major update on this set at some point. Still on vintage. If you don't know what this is, well, you'll have to wait and see when I do it in a video. I've got a couple of these actually. These are actually very interesting. These are vintage from way back in the 50s, early 50s. Speaking of the 50s, I've been looking for some other vintage projects to work on, and so one of them I decided to work on is the 1955 Topps baseball set. And this is when Topps was still trying to figure out the exact sizes of the cards, so these are actually a little oversized compared to what became the standard. But these are very nice, colorful cards, and they have the cute logos on them. There's the Tigers and the Cubs. Right now I'm working on picking up commons, raw commons in near mint, roughly condition. Trying to pick well-centered cards. Rather have a well-centered card with maybe soft corners than very sharp corners and a poorly centered card. And so I've got about 10 of these or so. There's 206 cards in the set. It includes some big names. Does not include Mickey Mantle, which makes it more affordable to try to get the entire set, except that it has rookie cards of several major Hall of Famers. That includes Sandy Koufax. And so this, you may know about this, Project 2020. This is a thing that Topps has been doing this year where they've had 20 modern artists take their shot at 20 quote-unquote iconic cards, mostly rookie cards of big stars. And one of those is the 1955 Koufax. Now, obviously the design here is quite a bit different than the actual 55 card in this case, and it's up to the artist what they want to do. This particular artist is doing some cards have been criticized as being kind of plain, but I kind of like his take on a simple retro cards. Another example here that shows maybe a little more artistry. This is a guy. This guy who is doing these. This design is like a movie poster artist, and so this, of course, is Rickey Henderson's 1980 Topps rookie card. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that recently, about a month ago, I sent in an actual 1980 Rickey Henderson to be graded. So here's the so here is one person's representation of this. Now these cards are about 20 bucks a piece. They exploded in value for a while, and now they've come back down to earth. But a lot of the earlier cards are still worth a fair amount. It remains to be seen where that's all going to fall out by the time all 400 cards come out. They're coming out 2 a day every weekday. I think that, and things have kind of settled back down. Some of the very old the early cards, they only made 1,000 of them. Basically, these are only available for 2 days, 48 hours on Topps website, and once those 2 days are done, that's it. They print that many, and they'll never print them again. Right now, the cards are typically back to around about 4,000 to 5,000 a card being produced. There was a Ken Griffey Jr. card at the peak of the madness of the prices. They made almost 100,000 of them. So we'll see how all that goes. But I'm collecting a small subset of these. In some ways, I kind of wish I hadn't started collecting them, but we'll see how that goes. Back to vintage. Another vintage set I decided to collect is the this one won't be too hard to finish. This is the 1963 Fleer set, and this is kind of a bootleg set. Fleer produced one series of these, 66 cards, and then they got a cease and desist order from Topps, and that ended it. So there are only 66 cards in this set, plus a checklist. And just like with the 55s, I'm trying to get fairly well-centered, sharp cards, near mint quality. These are not nearly as, these are a fair bit less valuable than the 55 Topps. And even the high dollar cards aren't terrible. So this is one that, and I've got, I don't know, I've got about, I guess maybe a half dozen, maybe 8 or 9 of these or so, working on the set. There's another one, Al Spangler. This is the era, the brief era of the Houston Colt 45s before they became the Astros. So that's kind of interesting. I'm picking up the occasional other vintage cards. This is a nice raw example of Hoyt Wilhelm, Hall of Famer, one of the most least heralded of the modern Hall of Famers. I mean, there are some old-time Hall of Famers that nobody's really heard of. Hoyt Wilhelm, very underrated, although he got into the Hall of Fame, so he was certainly a well-respected pitcher. I've been thinking about trying to pick up a run of his cards. I don't really have a player that I've been collecting, you know, all their cards of. And so I'm contemplating whether Hoyt Wilhelm might be that player, just because he's relatively inexpensive for being a Hall of Famer, and his career covers some nice range of years. Now, something very different. In 1984, Topps put out these 5x7 cards. And you'll have to look this up. I don't have any open right now. I only have the ones in the original package. But these are basically exactly like the regular 1984 cards, same design, just they're blown way up. And you can't, it's probably maybe hard to tell on the camera, but these 84 packs, there was only one card in each pack, and so you can actually look and see which card it is. This is Andre Dawson, Hall of Famer. And there are only 30 cards in this set. In fact, I have all of them. I have a bunch of unopened packs, and these are not particularly expensive. They're not terribly valuable. One thing is that if you want to get a card like this, say graded, these are oversized, so you're spending like, I don't know, $30 or $40 extra for the large case for these kinds of cards. Now in 85, Topps did it again, but this time they put 3 cards in a pack, and also the packs are harder to see through. And they expanded the selection up to 60 players. I think they did this in 86 as well. I've got to double check that. The 85s, I have an entire box. In fact, I have an entire box of 84s as well. They're the same thing. It's the same. It's the standard, you know, the typical 85 designs, just blown up big, and with 60 cards, and 60 cards in the set, and with this whole box, I have let's see, I think there are 36, no, 24. There are only 24, so there's 72 cards in this box. That's probably not enough to get all 60 of them, so I need to get some more of those. Those are a little more expensive than the 84s, just because there's more cards in the pack. You can see that they originally retailed for 50 cents for 3 big cards. Not quite sure the 84s are not labeled. I'm expecting they probably only went for like 30 cents or something. So that's another thing I'm working on. Well, always got to have more vending boxes. So I've got some more vending boxes from the 1980s to open. I won't even tell you what year this is, but I've got a bunch of these. I may or may not open these on camera, or may just show the results. Not quite sure. I'm wanting to do some kind of late 70s and or early 80s kind of pack-a-palooza. Here are 4 1978 presumed unopened wax packs. I can't guarantee that they're unopened, but they're not in great shape. It seems, it seems like if you're going to try to sell packs that are resealed, you might want to go. You could get wrappers a lot better than this, and I'm not sure whether the corners of some of these cards might be damaged, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I mean, I knew these were not in great shape, and some of these are also 1978. These 78 holiday rack packs. These are the alleged genuine holiday rack packs that were packed actually roughly in this time frame. Basically like at Christmas time, late in the year that these cards came out, I think. They're certainly a lot more vintage than the some of those 70s holiday rack packs without the fancy design, season greeting design on them. These definitely feel more vintage, and the plastic feels vintage, and the card here looks and feels vintage on those. So, and I have some other packs from that era that I may open. I got to decide exactly what I want to do with those. I'm always kind of looking for oddball stuff. These are the 1986 Fleer Minis and the 1988 Fleer update sets. I got some of those. Finally, Topps Big. Now these aren't big like the 5x7s, and I think these started not long after they quit doing those super duper 5x7 cards. These are interesting. They're big in the sense that they're comparable in size to the 55 and 56 sets in there, which were oversized. And so these came in, this is 1988, these came in 3 series. They brought back the series format. There are 88 cards in each series, series 1, 2, and 3. And I have a box of each. Now series 3 is the most valuable. Those probably the series 3 box is probably worth the same as the 1 and 2 boxes combined. But in any case, there are 36 packs of 7 cards. That's what is that? 200 and what's the number? 252, I believe. That's right. I think 252 cards. So with 88 cards, just about guaranteed, I think, to get the full set of all these. So I'll open these up live, well, on in videos at some point. We'll take a look at those together. So there'll be some other things as well. Not quite sure whether I'll be back to doing videos every Friday starting next week. It may be a while. It's summertime. Got other things going on. But I will get back to the stuff, and I've got plenty of stuff built up to show you. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. So that's it for this time, and I'll see you next time.